Mom, I will prepare the food we all will eat. Don't stress yourself, ma. Just show me the kitchen and all the ingredients I'll need. Really? Wow. I just realized that my son has finally brought home a wife, Timmy's mom said excitedly. Mommy, where are your dirty clothes? Let me wash them for you, she offered. Timmy's mom opened her mouth in surprise. Wow, ọmọ dáadáa ni ẹ́ o.
What exactly are you doing here? Ìwọ obìnrin yìí. Ṣé wọ́n rán ẹ sí mi kó wá pa mí ni?
Elder challenged his wife as soon as they got outside. Why? Can't I come to visit my husband again? 4 hours journey is not too much a sacrifice to make to see my dear husband. You have refused to come back home and I have missed you. I hope you are fine now. I'm sorry I couldn't check on you at the hospital. I was still angry then.
What? Are you the one talking or you went somewhere to go and rent this nice attitude before coming here?
Elder Oladipupo replied her, totally amazed by her wife's response. Má bínú ọkọ mi. I just came to apologize for all that I did, she hugged him.
What's this woman's mission?
Elder Oladipupo thought as he held his wife in an embrace that lasted for about 15 seconds. His anger towards her instantly dissolved. He wished his wife could be this loving and caring all the time, but this sudden niceness of hers made him so uncomfortable. He didn't know whether to be happy or sad. Omolola woke up with great excitement. The day has finally come for her to meet her mom-in-law. She got a long flowing gown, the type that a typical African mother would love as a gift for her son to be mother-in-law. Timmy would soon be at her place to pick her up. She quickly got dressed in a very attractive but decent short gown. She packed her head neatly and used her cologne sparingly. She checked herself in the mirror and was satisfied with her look. Someone knocked at her door. My Timmy is here, she shrieked and quickly got the door.
Oh, see how beautiful my angel is.
Timmy praised her. Stop the flattery. We all know that I'm not that beautiful. She laughed.
Says who?
Timmy laughed too. They got into the car and as he started the engine, Timmy said,
Omolola, make sure you go down on your 2 knees when you see my mother. Remain on your 2 knees till she asks you to stand up. I just thought I should give you that clue. That is one of the things that gets my mom attracted to a lady. It's very important.
He emphasized. Really? Omolola asked.
Yes, oh.
Alright, no problem, Omolola said. She wondered within her. Get down on 2 knees till she asks me to stand up. What's the meaning of that? So she can know that I have the Holy Spirit inside me or what? Omolola thought, wondering what kind of mother-in-law Timmy's mother would be. Whichever kind of mother she is, she will also meet me there. I will show her the real Pepe. If she wants peace, I will give her. And if she wants violence, then violence it will be. She wouldn't know my real stuff until I marry her son, she chuckled within her. 2 weeks earlier, Mrs. Oladipupo had visited her friend, Modupe, during the time her husband was hospitalized after the incident that happened between the couple which led to Mrs. Oladipupo hitting her husband's head. She expressed her concern to her friend about the condition of her husband and her willingness to go and visit him at the hospital. Modupe had been the one tutoring her about how to manage the affairs of her home. In Modupe's words, men are not to be shown too much love. Otherwise, they would take you for granted. They had met at a women emancipation seminar some years back when Mrs. Oladipupo's kids were still very small. They had sat next to each other, gisting through the program, after which they exchanged contact at the end, and since then, they have kept the friendship. The get-together program was organized by a female social media influencer whom they both followed online. The program was meant to teach women how to explore their potentials and creativity the more, scale up themselves in their careers, expand their businesses, and gain more visibility on the digital space. As at that time, Mrs. Oladipupo was still nursing her second baby boy, Damilare. Her first son, Segunfunmi, was already in kindergarten. Back then, Her husband provided majorly for the family. He catered for all their needs conveniently because his salary was more than sufficient. He works with the federal government. Mrs. Oladipupo was just a teacher in a private school, earning so little at that time. Modupe would always tell Mrs. Oladipupo, "Don't make the mistake I made which led to the end of my marriage. You have to handle your husband firmly with an iron hand. Otherwise, he would feel too comfortable and that is when he would start thinking of getting a second wife. But if you would make the house hot for him, he would never think of looking for another woman because he would be like, even the one at home, I can't handle her yet. Talk more of getting one more wife." You have to be in charge, be in control, and always let him know that you both own everything he has. You are even at a better position to do this because you are way younger than him. The age gap of 12 years between you two would make him pamper you like a baby. Don't you get it? You are right. Oh, Mrs. Oladipupo had nodded in agreement. Her friendship with Modupe, who was already estranged from her husband at that time, was the beginning of troubles in her own marriage because Modupe started mentoring her on how better to deal with her husband and in-laws, stating that her own marriage failed because she was too slack. Mrs. Oladipupo, for fear of losing her own husband because of her insecurities, swallowed every advice of her friend, hook, line and sinker. She practically turned her marriage to a battleground because she started to give out so many rules. One of them was that her husband must not send money to any of his relatives without carrying her along. She subtly took over the control of the finances in the home, an operation she gradually carried out by pushing the condition to her husband each time they just had sex. Then she was very sexually active with her husband. She would always practice different styles with him and end up taking him to the moon and back. That was the main key she used to access all the padlocks in her husband's heart. She succeeded in manipulating the heart of her husband against all his siblings till they stopped coming to their house or even calling their brother for help. After some years, she graduated into the stage of giving her husband sex only when she desired it, and then later graduated into using sex as a means to demand for whatever she wanted, courtesy of all the advice her friend was dishing out to her free of charge. Her refusal to bathe regularly was intentional. She did that to keep her husband away from her, so that by the time his need for sex gets so accumulated and he had no choice than still turn to her for gratification, she can then present her conditions, which was always selfish and inconsiderate. That was how she's been running her marriage for years. Her husband, who loved her so much, has been trying to put up with all her attitudes. Many of his relatives have even advised him to get a second wife so he can have peace of mind in his old age. But because of the love he has for his wife, he had refused their counsels. The day Mrs. Oladipupo visited her friend, she registered her concern about how she felt she should visit her husband at the hospital. "Bimpe, don't you dare. You want to make him think you are feeling sorry for what you did already? What happened to him that you are melting like this? Did a trailer run over him?" Modupe protested. Mrs. Oladipupo felt sober. She stared at the floor in a confused state. But you know I love my husband. I love him. Even if we are fighting, I would never wish him dead. You and I know that all these things I'm doing are mere acting. I don't want anything bad to happen to my husband. I don't even know what came over me that afternoon that I had to eat him on the head. I guess I pushed too hard. I was too hard on him," she replied, almost in tears. Look at you. They are pitying a man. Do they pity us also this way? That is the question. When my husband was beating me severally till I landed in the hospital at times before he finally abandoned me and eloped with a strange woman, leaving me to care for the kids we both had together, was he pitying me? The fact is, men don't pity us the way we do, so why should we pity them? This is the problem we women have, always too compassionate about our husbands. Whatever happens, still, I don't want my husband to die. I don't. I still love him. Fine, I may be pitying him truly, but doesn't he worth it? He's still the father of my children. It wouldn't be good for me to become a widow at 39. God forbid. Where would I start from? You are saying this because you are no longer living with a man. How would you understand my plight? You can't because you don't have a husband again, Mrs. Oladipupo lamented. Her last statement hurt Modupe so much. She felt offended, but she covered up and pretended not to count it. She replied, "You know what? I know how you feel. Trust me, I do. I'm just trying to make you see reasons why you shouldn't visit him at the hospital. You need to let this man think you can exist without him. Pretend like you don't care. If you quickly visit him now and start caring for him, once he gets better, he would get a firm hold over you and can even go out there to get another woman to punish you in return. Are you not getting it? Be in control of your emotions there. Be wise. Don't show it to him that you care, lest he later uses it against you." Chai, you are really experienced in this game. I now get what you are driving at. It is true. Yes, nah. All the advice I'm giving you is in your own interest. Women supporting women. I'm only trying to help you as a woman like you. You can only visit him if after he returns to his station and he refuses to come back home. Then you can use the formula I once taught you whenever you feel he's slipping from your hands. The formula: seduce him back to yourself. Thank you. Now you are awake. Modupe laughed. Thank you so much, Dupe. What would I have done without you? Don't thank me, my friend. I'll do whatever I can to make sure you don't end up like me. After Mrs. Oladipupo had left her house that day, Modupe sat in her living room, tears strolling down her face. Bimpe, ó fi ọkọ bú mi. You said I can't understand because I don't have a husband I live with. Femi, see the kind of ridicule you exposed me to. She wept louder. Bimpe, I will show you. For this statement you made today, I will really show you that I am indeed wiser than you. You will definitely regret uttering that statement. You will taste from the cup I'm drinking from at the moment, and you will understand how it feels. You will, I promise. She affirmed as she wiped her tears and blew her nose into her handkerchief. Timi drove straight to his mother's home, which was in an estate on the island of Lagos. He pulled at the front of a massive gate which enclosed a huge building, a beautiful edifice to behold. The security guard opened the gate and Timi drove straight into the big compound, the type that Omolola only saw in movies. She never had the opportunity to step into one. They both got out of the car and Timi led the way in. It was a very luxurious apartment. The furniture, the gadget, the floor, the aesthetic ambience, all oozed real affluence.
Make yourself comfortable. I'll go get my mom,
Timi said to Omolola and went up the stairs. It was a 5-bedroom duplex. Omolola glanced around her, admiring every single piece in the living room. Before Timi brought her to that house, he had been staying with one of his friends on the mainland of Lagos, where he had also met Omolola. She had visited him twice at his friend's place. Timi already told her that he stayed at his mom's place on the island, but he was with his friend on the mainland because of a particular business contract he was to execute at that time. He made it emphatically clear to her that after their wedding, they both would live in the same duplex her mom lived in, because he wasn't planning to move out as he's the only child of his mom and his dad was late already. Omolola couldn't wait to get married to Timi. The beauty and affluence of the house was beyond her expectation. She fantasized becoming the madam of the house very soon, ordering the cook, security, and other domestic staff around the house. Chai, Omolola, your head is so lucky. Ha! I thank God for the day I met with Timi. Who would have imagined that me, Omolola, would end up living in this kind of house? Even my family would be so shocked by the time they visit me after the wedding. Now, I can do live videos without having to go rent a hotel room. I'm the luckiest girl on earth. I'll do anything to keep this relationship and ensure that I end up marrying this guy. In fact, anything. I must end up living in this mansion. My village people will not stop me, she assured herself in her mind. The footsteps that sounded from the stairs interrupted her thoughts. She quickly adjusted her sitting position and comported herself as she eagerly awaited the arrival of Timmy's mother. Timmy led the way while his mom came behind him. She looked like one of the most beautiful actresses that Omolola has ever seen on her TV screen. Her skin glowed like a glass. She was beautiful to behold and she didn't really look her age. Wow, she must be a goddess. This beauty is so flawless. No wonder Timmy is so handsome, Omolola reasoned within her. As they approached the end of the stairs, Omolola quickly stood to her feet. Wow, see who we have here, Timmy's mom enthused. Omolola quickly went on her knees. She greeted her in the most humble manner. Good afternoon, my darling. How are you doing? I'm very fine, ma, Omolola replied timidly. Please stand up, good girl. Timmy's mom raised her from her kneeling position. Thank you, ma. Omolola rose up while Timmy's mom gave her a warm hug. The scent of her cologne was heavenly. Her skin was so soft and tender. Chai, it's good to have money, oh. God punish poverty, Omolola said within herself as she embraced Timmy's mom. She became shy when Timmy's mom showered her with encomium. Timileyin, your girlfriend is so beautiful and she is respectful as well. This is the kind of lady I want, not all those riffraff you bring home all the time, his mom remarked. Mom, this one is my bus stop. I'm so glad you like her. Oh, I'm glad you made the right choice. You are welcome, my daughter. I like you already, Timmy's mom said. Thank you, mommy. I brought you a little gift, ma, Omolola said as she dipped her hand into her handbag and brought out the gown she got for her. She presented it to Timmy's mom on her knees. Wow, this is so beautiful. I love it. How did you know the kind of dress I love so much? Thank you, Timmy's mom said, admiring the lovely gown. I'm glad you love it, ma. Timmy smiled, impressed about the fact that her mom was getting along well with Omolola. Please, stand up, my darling. What would you like to eat? There is rice, there's any type of swallow you want. Pando yam, semovita, amala, just name it. I will personally prepare the food for you. My cook is on a weekend leave. No, mom, I will prepare the food we all will eat. Don't stress yourself, ma. Just show me the kitchen and all the ingredients I'll need. Really? Wow. I just realized that my son has finally brought home a wife, Timmy's mom said excitedly.
Mommy, it seems you really like Omolola so much.
Yes, sir. I love her. Can't you see the chemistry between us already? It is not that your head is correct. Unlike those times you brought home some low-budget prostitutes, his mom eased.
Mommy!
Timmy screamed to caution his mom as he looked at Omolola from the corner of his eyes. What? You should bring out a cane and flog me now, his mom replied while Omolola giggled quietly. Timmy frowned slightly, but his mom did not give a damn. My wife, please come with me to the kitchen. Let me show you what to cook and where to cook the food. She led Omolola to the luxurious kitchen, which was 2 times the size of her parents' living room. Omolola was overwhelmed with surprise at the neatly arranged kitchen and all the sophisticated cooking items. Soon, Timmy's mom left her and went upstairs to have some discussion with her son. Omolola quickly brought her phone and took different pictures with captions like, "Just finished cooking a special meal for the weekend. Do you care to eat this fried rice and chicken with me?" etc. She ensured she used different backgrounds so that her online fans would see how big her supposed kitchen was. She used another account which has a different name from the one Timmy knew. she used Empress Lola for this Instagram account, and she has many separate followers that follow her on that account apart from the other two accounts she has. After she was done cooking, she took a picture of a bowl full of fried chicken while she held one of the fried chicken meats in her hand and took a selfie with it alongside the serving bowl which was filled with fried rice. She started getting different comments from her online fans. Kai, inside this economy, some people eat this luxurious meal. EFCC must hear this. Lola, nothing do you o, sha do giveaway for the weekend. Empress, why now? When I just finished eating my garri in peace, you brought this out? Send the address to your house abeg, I'm tired of pre ten ding, I no get food for house. It is the kitchen for me, so beautiful and neat. I tap into your grace o. Lola, where did you get your cooking gas? I love it a lot. I hope to meet you and possibly hang out with you one of these days. My kitchen looks exactly like yours. I love rolling with big girls. God punish poverty. See kitchen like the size of my whole apartment, and so on. The comments kept pouring in and Omolola entertained herself again to the fullest while reading the comments. Soon, she set a table and they all ate. This is one of the most beautiful meals I've tasted this year, Timmy's mom remarked while Omolola blushed. She cleared and washed the dishes after the meal and went back to the living room. Mommy, where are your dirty clothes? Let me wash them for you, she offered. Timmy's mom opened her mouth in surprise. Wow, ọmọ dáadáa ni ẹ́ o.